If you love ball like I do, After Dark's a must listen.
That's where I go to get my hoops fixed.
This is Field of 68 After Dark.
Welcome in, Field of 68 After Dark, day 2 of the NCAA Tournament. And, man, if you like underdogs, this was not your day. This is not your day in the NCAA Tournament at all. If we're talking about dogs, everybody got taken to the veterinarian's office today. We're here on YouTube. We're here on Sirius XM, College Sports Channel 84. Jeff Goodman, John Martin, Rob Dawson, Matt McCall, Jerome McNeil. Where was the action today, Jeff Goodman? What's going on, dude?
I mean, it's just one of the – we said it before the tournament started that there was a clear separation between the best teams. And it's proven to be accurate for the first 2 days. We haven't had a lot of big upsets. We've had, a few minor ones.
Right.
But nothing huge. None of the variety that people want to see in the first couple days, which is Cinderella. There's no Cinderellas left.
Yeah. Ole Miss was an underdog. They won today. Who else was an underdog today?
New Mexico.
New Mexico was an underdog. They won.
Great win.
And is that it?
Baylor was an
That's
underdog,
right.
and they won.
Very slight underdog there.
And then we had an upset with Colorado State beating Memphis. But
again, we're gonna argue about the semantics of that, even though they were favored.
12-5.
But it is a double-digit seed that is moving on. Yes, that is exactly right. But outside of Baylor, which was basically a coin flip anyway,
The Mountain West had a good day.
they got it back.
Mountain West had a good day.
The
Mountain West has not had a good NCAA tournament the last several years. They had a good day.
They got their
Had a
get
great
back
day, actually.
at the hands of Memphis and Marquette. So even if it wasn't a great day, Rob Dosser, for underdogs, what was your big takeaway from day 2 of the tournament?
my biggest takeaway is that we are now set up to have an unbelievable second round of the NCAA tournament. Like, we all love the first weekend because you're hoping to get those upsets and you're hoping to get those storylines and maybe that 15/2, and you want to see those buzzer beaters and you want to see, the FDUs and the Cinderellas and the St. Peters, and all of that stuff is fun. But what we now have heading into the second weekend of the dance is some real big boy heavyweight matchups. And I'm not just talking like the 4-5s, 3-6s. We have Arkansas, the second game tomorrow, Arkansas and St. John's. The first game we have tomorrow, Will Wade against Purdue. It's just, and that's just where we get started, right? And while we didn't have maybe the most entertaining first weekend of the tournament, like, it's been frankly underwhelming, disappointing. There weren't even really that many great games and great finishes, right?
There weren't any.
Yeah. We had a couple, like Baylor was a good finish.
Baylor
was a good finish. There were a couple late last night that were fun, but you didn't have those great games that you're going to remember for a long, long time. But that sets us up for what we all want on Saturday and what we all want on Sunday, and it's still the first weekend of the NCAA tournament.
It really is, and the matchups that we're going to see in the second round, you just alluded to it. Calipari versus Pitino. The Florida UConn matchup on Sunday too is another one. It's like, all right, UConn advances, like that's another matchup. Like I'm
giving him a massage because it's gonna hurt.
Oh, it's gonna be rough.
It's gonna hurt.
It's gonna be rough.
I'm
just happy that on Sunday. Side note, I'm gonna let you finish in a second. I am just very thankful that on Sunday afternoon I can sit and watch UConn get their brains beat in without having you right next to me chirping
Don't worry. I'm going to wear my Gator shirt.
Yes, you are.
And I will chomp him every time they score.
You will chomp him?
I will give him the Gator chomp.
What's the
every time.
We have the opener on that?
How do we do it?
Jeff, straighten your fingers out a little bit. Straighten your fingers.
I'm going to look at BetMGM, see what the opener
All right, let's look.
I didn't go to Flagg.
We can tell. We can tell.
Yeah, no buzzer beaters in the first 2 days is a little bit disappointing. Right? That's
no drama. There was no drama.
There really wasn't any drama, Jeff. I agree with you.
Well, I will say this. We like upsets in college basketball until we don't. Right?
No, we love them in the first
round. It's like we don't want you to hang around forever. You know, you're kind of like that uncle who's kind of funny for a few hours at the reunion, but it's like at some point, like, please leave. You know, the double digit.
But John, I'll
seed.
say this: was there an upset? Or was there a game?
What's the biggest upset that
It's
I mean,
McNeese. It's still
McNeese beating Clemson.
Drake.
Was it really an
That's-
upset?
McNeese and Drake are
But
the two.
I
But
think
Drake
I
was a
think-
smaller
I
underdog.
think McNeese is the biggest one, obviously. But I will say this, just in terms of things that I hate as we get deeper into the tournament, we're done with the freebies. There's no more easy games. I don't think we're going to see a
I
whole
agree
lot
with
of
that.
blowouts going forward. There's nothing worse than somebody getting upset early. We love the drama of that in the early rounds,
Yeah.
and then you get into that next round, and boom, they run
How about
into a
the
really
Final
good
Four?
team.
No, I mean,
How about
when
when
George
George
Mason-
Mason
and they get
George
blew out of
Mason
the
goes to
water.
the Final Four, and it's like,
Yeah,
all right.
Loyola,
Yeah,
Chicago.
exactly.
It was cute for a while.
yeah, it was cute.
Crack
Then
that
you-
slipper.
until you get a really
Yeah.
bad game.
So we're
at
not
the
going to
end
get
of
any of
the
those.
We're not.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I think we're done with that. I think we get a ton of really good games, specifically over the next 2 days. Like you got some really interesting matchups as far as teams,
yes.
style of play,
Storylines,
coaches as well. Like
Big
there's
time
some really good
coaches.
coaching
Yeah.
matchups.
I don't
as well.
even know if a top 3 seed was so much as threatened. I mean, I guess Bama versus Robert Morris. That was the only one. That was the only one that's coming to my mind right now. That was earlier today. And I guess Robert Morris had the lead or was tied in the second half. So they fought very hard. But like, did you honestly think at any point that Bryant, Bryant's not even going to cover? I mean,
And they were
winning,
late in the
Yeah.
first half.
they're going to cover the number. So we haven't gotten those big double-digit seed upsets, but yes, it will make for a much more compelling second round, Sweet 16, and on. We worried that this would be a chalk tournament, and so far that's really what it's been.
And I will say, there are teams that you can still get behind and you can still root for that aren't necessarily Power 5 programs. Ben McCollum and the Drake Bulldogs are such an easy storyline to root for, as you see Jaden Akins. Holy smokes.
Bryant's not covering. by
Yeah,
the way.
Brian's not
They're
going to cover.
That
Uh,
ship is
you have McNeese State and Will Wade, which is just a great storyline that you can follow. And I think they got a very real chance as a live dog. Maybe we'll actually get an underdog to win tomorrow again. Let's start the day off right.
We'll get some dogs tomorrow.
Yeah, you got to stick with it. That's what I told you, Rob. Just got to don't move away from the game plan too early.
I may not have any
too
money left to
early,
stick
man.
with it with. There may not be money left in the account to stick with it with, Terrell. It was a bad day today in the Doster household. At least UConn won.
All right, here we go. Here's a stat from David Warlock of the NCAA. You ready for this? Since the bracket expanded in '85, this is the 6th time that the 1, 2, 3, and 4 seeds all went undefeated in the first round. How about that?
Wow. 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yep.
So in '85, what did the
6th
bracket?
time in 40 years.
So in '85, the bracket went from
To
32
64. To
to 64.
Yep.
So that means the committee pretty much got it right.
Yeah, I mean, you say
Well,
that.
it means that the
For
best
now.
teams are better than everybody else for once.
Yeah.
I mean, that there's no more, the parity this year. I mean, look, there are numbers out there that suggest that the 1 seeds, Auburn, Florida, Duke, and Houston, had the best net rating of any combination of
Yes.
4 1 seeds that we've ever seen. Yeah. So,
Yes.
I mean, I'm not going to sit up here and act like I'm shocked about this at all. I mean, I don't think any 16 can touch, was going to touch a 1.
It's interesting, though. On one hand, you've got NIL that's been a separator a little bit, and all the high major taking the best mid-major and low-major players.
Yep.
On the other hand, you still have the last year of COVID. When,
Are we still on
when
that?
the mids can be older.
Right.
So
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know how to,
But what is NIL?
what does it allow?
What does it exacerbate? Because, I mean, it's not like
It exacerbates that these kids also now with the transfer portal, they don't have to sit out.
Well, you know what it
So
does.
there's a couple things happen at once.
You're exactly right. The mid majors used to be able to get older, and so like the 10 seed or 11 seed or 12 seed or worse could be a senior laden conference championship winning team. But the reality is that if you're good for 1 year as a freshman at one of those teams, it's over.
Gone.
It's over.
When you're getting poached.
Yeah,
You're getting coached because they don't have to sit out anymore.
Yeah.
And you're
yeah.
offering way more money. It's not even close.
That's what it is. That's really that.
I mean, look at Chaz
the
Lanier.
talent drain to the mid majors because of the portal.
Chaz Lanier. I was just down in North Florida a couple weeks ago, and Matt Driscoll, their head coach, said, we got no chance. And I don't blame him. I told Chaz Lanier to go.
Yeah.
He's
Take
going to
the
make
money.
10 times the amount of money he was going to make here.
We said the same thing earlier about Stetson last year. Donnie Jones. takes his team to the first ever NCAA tournament, loses his whole team.
All right.
Everybody.
I gotta get a statue at North
What's
Florida.
the matchup? What's the matchup you want to see that came out of today's games? What is the one? I'll start with you, Rob. Please. What's the one matchup you want to see?
I think the one that I'm most excited about on Sunday now is probably Kentucky and Illinois because of what those two programs can be and those two teams can be when they are right offensively, right? We've seen, I think, and we had two Illini fans in here during this game. I think we saw the best version of Illinois offensively that we can get today, right? Maybe if Humberhouse decides to make a couple of his threes and score 6 points and perhaps maybe hit the over on his points total of 5.5, it would have been a little bit better. But overall, I thought that this was about the best performance that you could see from Illinois. On the flip side, I thought we saw one of the better defensive performances from Kentucky. And I know it was just against Troy, but Troy, there was a long stretch there in the second half where Troy got nothing. Nothing, right? And we've said this before, and I tried to talk Goodman into this. He didn't want to hear it from me. Maybe McCall, Jarrell, maybe you guys will listen to me on this one. When Kentucky guards, like they've guarded the last 6 weeks, you know what they can be offensively. You know how dangerous they are with all the stuff that Mark Pope is running. I think that they are a team that is set up to be able to make some noise and make a little bit of a run here. I don't know if they can beat Houston in that league. I don't know if they're going to beat Tennessee, but they've swept Tennessee. You get past Illinois, you get to the second weekend, anything can happen. And I'm very curious to see what will happen because those are two teams. If they play their best, as the best they can be offensively, they can hang with, play with, beat anybody in college basketball.
I don't disagree.
That's the matchup on Sunday. It feels
I don't disagree. I think the matchup too is UConn, Florida. I mean, that one to me is you got a young head coach in Todd Golden. You got Danny Hurley. He knows that everybody in the country is picking Florida to win a national championship.
Yep.
He knows it.
Yep.
And he's going to have his team prepared. Is Florida a better team? Yes. But Danny Hurley's going to use that in his next 48 hours in the film room, in the film sessions, and he's going to make sure that talented UConn team, and are they as talented as they have been the last 2 years? No. But they still have talent. They still have NBA players on that team. When you look at Florida, is there an NBA player on that team? Like, is there a guy that you're saying, like, this guy's a lock to play in the NBA?
I mean, I think Clayton has a chance.
Has a chance?
Alex Condon.
A chance.
Condon does. Condon's got a great chance.
Condon's a first-round pick.
Right.
Not this year, in a year. Next year.
Well, whenever
Not
it is.
this year,
Liam
next year.
McNeely's a lottery pick.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Florida's just a better team.
Florida is a better team.
Yep.
But
they
Danny
have a
Hurley's going to
scratch
have
fighting
his
claw
team
to get
prepared
past
to play that
Oklahoma.
game.
Yep.
Danny Hurley's going to have his team prepared because his team's going to know that the entire country is picking Florida to win that game.
I
gonna
appreciate
see-
your approach because you were talking to us like we're the Gators. You know, you're trying to have us respect the opponent, right? I respect that. UConn is mediocre. They
But
are.
when UConn
they beat an
okay.
Oklahoma team that wasn't even in the tournament 2.5 weeks ago.
But when UConn has had their backs
Hold on.
against the wall,
Hold on.
hold on, no, Rob, hold
He's
on.
not going to let that fly.
Hold on,
I know you.
Hold on.
No.
He's not, but
UConn loses to Seton Hall.
Yes.
What do they do the next game?
Beat Providence or some shit.
No, they went on the road and beat Creighton. And Danny Hurley's walking out of the arena and he's pointing to his fingers. I got 2 championships. This
Get
matchup.
the quote right. It was 2 rings Baldy.
Okay,
He said
whatever.
2 rings Baldy.
I'm just saying this matchup to me is the most intriguing one on Sunday. I think Florida is better. Florida has more talent. Florida is better.
Florida's going to be a
But-
double-digit favorite.
Great,
Yep.
awesome, and I hope Florida wins the game. But Danny Hurley's going to have his team prepared to play this game.
He's a great coach. I just think he's overmanned.
I just think it's going to be closer
Or
than
outmanned.
John, I have a question.
agree.
I have a question for you. What time does Memphis play on Sunday?
We unfortunately will not be playing on Sunday. All right, but that's separate. That's separate of the UConn discussion.
You know,
Hurt people hurt people.
Brian,
Hey, Jarrell, does UConn have any shot of beating Florida? How did they beat them?
I think they do. And it's pretty much teeing up exactly what Matt just said. And I even mentioned it yesterday. I said I think that's a really intriguing matchup specifically after we got a chance to talk to Coach Golden, and he comes in and he reminds us of the fact, I got to get a tournament win. Does Florida right now, everybody's picking them. They look great. They check all the boxes. Do they have the belief in themselves that they can make a run and win a national title right now? I think this game here, beating the reigning and defending champs,
it's a great point.
Gives them that confidence, that belief. But I also, on the flip side of things, you put UConn in a very, very tough but a good spot where nobody's believing us. Last time I checked, every single bit of coach speak that you could want in this game is going to be teed up for Danny
I'll
Hurley.
say this.
And he's going to use all.
One thing I'll say about that would give me hope if I was a UConn fan, and you guys know this because I was talking about at the time, would be the way Florida closed the game against Norfolk State in the second half. Like now, look, again, could be a thing where it's just a human condition. They get up 30, they take their foot off the gas. Or it could be that, Florida has some, vulnerabilities.
They have lapses.
They
have those lapses.
They're absolutely right. So UConn's goal needs to be just when we see those, maximize our opportunity there.
And here's my other concern with Florida, though. When's the last time they were in a close game?
Yeah, it's been a while.
The Georgia game?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, Tennessee.
So, like,
Tennessee was a
if
close
this
game.
thing comes
Tennessee
out,
in the SEC title
I
game
just
was
don't
close.
think these
right?
guys are going to get rattled. Elijah Martin's been in a Final
he's been in a
Four.
Final Four.
Walter Clayton's been in the NCAA tournament.
Okay.
I don't think Alex Condon, I've spent some time around that kid. He's like this, man. Like, you're not going to rattle him.
I know, but we're going back to what's the most intriguing.
Doshner's rattled right now.
What's the most
He's
intriguing
rattled thinking about the Gator chomp.
coming out of what happened today. And
It's intriguing only if you took the name UConn off that team's chest. We're not even talking about this being that intriguing, but it is coached by Dan Hurley.
That's right.
They're
Yes.
the two-time
That's right.
defending champs.
And nobody gave
Jarrell
him a
said
shot.
it. No, Jarrell had the best point for Florida is they win this game. They're not thinking, oh, this is some weak-ass average UConn team.
No.
They're thinking, we just beat
We
the
just did it.
two-time
And it
defending
could
champs.
catapult
We
them.
can beat anybody.
Yes.
Absolutely.
yes.
I will say this, okay? If UConn wants to win this game, there's two things that they're going to have to do. Here's the two things they have to do. One, Alex Caravan's got to win that matchup at the 4 because Florida plays the two bigs, right? They play the two big system, and they pound the offensive glass. And that is where UConn can kind of be taken advantage of, right? Teams have attacked Alex Caravan a lot at that 4 spot when they got guys that played that position. So he has to come ready to play, whether it's Alex Condon or Thomas Hawk or whoever he is matched up with at the 4, he has to find a way to be able to compete and win that matchup. And the other thing is they really struggle with the off-ball stuff, specifically solo ball. Solo ball is probably going to end up guarding Elijah Martin. That's how it's going to shake out. I think you want Liam McNeely on Will Richard, solo ball on Elijah Martin. When they're running them off those zoom actions, when you're running them off those off-ball stuff, when he's on the weak side and solo ball is lost in trying to figure out what he's supposed to be like, that is where this game is going to be lost. Is at the 4 spot, and whether or not their guards can deal with all the off-ball stuff and the modern sets that Florida is running. Yeah. That's how you win if you're UConn. You got to blow that stuff up, and you got to keep them off the offensive glass.
I'll say this too. Last point on this game, we'll move on. Todd Golden has a belief in who he is. And when he coaches, he's not going to be intimidated by Danny Hurley.
No doubt.
He's not going to.
No doubt.
Like he's been in the SEC with Sharks, with Bruce Pearl, his mentor, who he worked for, with John Calipari, with Rick Barnes, and he's knocked all those guys off. Like, he's not going to be intimidated by this matchup at all. Like, he's going to turn around and get the crowd going. He's going to do the Gator chomp when it's going well for the Gators. Like, it's going to be fun. It's exciting.
It is. It's going to be a great time. Now, there's one matchup that we think could break viewership records for a second-round tournament game. We will get into that and a whole lot more here on Field 68 After Dark.
If you haven't heard by now, we have partnered with BetMGM for the season. We'll be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we'll have special offers for the listeners and the viewers. Download the BetMGM app and sign up using the bonus code FIELD. Deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game, and you'll receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets. Go download the BetMGM app and use the code FIELD today.
People have opinions about me, strong ones. Some compare my brand to the competition and call me a copycat. Some say that I'm just watered down, that I fall flat. I've heard it all. But the people who get me, they say I'm different, subtle, but balanced. Nothing to hide, nothing artificial. And once they give me a chance, they keep coming back for more. For more dab water. That's right, I'm talking about dab water, and I swear by it. No bubbles, no fizz, just a smooth, refreshing canned cocktail made with real tequila. 100 calories, 0 sugar, 0 carbs, and gluten-free. Find Dab Water's 4 flavors in an 8-pack variety pack or single flavor 6-packs. Dab Water invites you to enjoy its great lineup of products all tournament long. Take it from me, Jeff Goodman. Sometimes the most polarizing things are the best things. Dab Water, tequila, water, natural flavors.
Welcome back, Field of 68 After Dark. Jeff Goodman, John Martin, Rob Doster, Matt McCall, Jerome McNeil. We have 3 winners on this panel, 2 losers today. So, that's right. Loser, winner, winner. You're a winner, even if you don't claim it.
I do not claim.
You're a winner, though. You're a winner. Illinois wins. Kentucky wins. That means that the way the tournament works, the 3 and the 6 then meet in the second round. And you want to talk about passionate fan bases. You want to talk about teams that have high aspirations, high hopes for winning the title. That's Illinois, Kentucky. Feels like, I don't know what the second round record is for, television ratings, but those fan bases can break it.
Where's that game?
Milwaukee, yep.
I mean, that crowd
is going to be amazing.
There might be some fights in the stands for that one, because those are 2 of probably the top 5 craziest fan bases in America.
Yeah.
And, you're talking about an Illinois team that has kind of been Jekyll and Hyde for most of the year, and they look terrific tonight. Boswell looked great. Ivasic looked great. Obviously, Will Riley was terrific. This was a really impressive performance against a talented Xavier team that hasn't been great this year, but still, this was a really good win for them to feel good about themselves, to get some momentum, and a lot of their players that needed it to get some confidence going to this next game against a Kentucky team that doesn't overwhelm you. And the one thing I still worry about with Kentucky right now is Lamont Butler. He still he hasn't looked for his own shot. And I worry about this Kentucky. I really think Illinois wins this game. And I think they could win it by double figures, Joe. I really do. I worry about this Kentucky team because they're so dependent right now on Ortega Owe.
Yep, and I agree. I definitely agree with that. First off, it's going to be an amazing atmosphere up in Milwaukee. 2 great fan bases, both sometimes a little bit delusional, but that's a good thing in college basketball. That's a good thing in college basketball. They'll travel. They'll pack that place out. Illinois, this is a huge win for them tonight. Like you said, just for confidence purposes. They've been up and down all year, but the reason that when we've seen their highs and they've looked better probably than just about any other team when they're playing at a high level, they're making shots, and those guys got it working. And right now, we can't just throw that to the side and say they're gonna go right back to the old Illinois team, because right now they play good against a decent Xavier team, not a great team, but a decent team. And we all know that Kentucky has had some struggles as well too. Obviously, they got the injury issues. Yep. It'll be interesting for me to see what they do matchup wise. That's kind of what I'm looking forward to with that game. Does Boswell take Butler, their best perimeter defender?
Yep.
Does Illinois?
I think you got
double bigs with Merez to kind of nullify some of the size with Kentucky with Carr and Williams. Do they put him in Ivasic out there at the same time more? Like I think it'd be an interesting game.
I think you have to put Boswell on Ortega Owe. And this is why.
I agree.
Kentucky in their last 8 games is 5-3. In the 3 losses, Ortega Owe had 8 points in the SEC tournament against Alabama. They lost 4 points in the loss to Auburn at home, 2 points in the loss at Alabama before that. In the 5 wins in that stretch, 28 points, 24 points, 22 points, 27 points, and then 20 points today.
That's crazy.
You have to stop him. Like that is the guy. Right? That is the guy that you got to slow down. That is the guy that you have to attack if you're Illinois, and that's the guy you got to take out of it.
And Boswell on Butler.
I mean, I think that you don't really have to guard him.
Go under.
Yeah, you don't really have to guard Butler at this point because
save some legs to the offensive end too.
But I also don't know. So, I mean, Jarrell, you could probably speak to this a little bit better than I could. Boswell has moments where he looks great defensively.
Yeah.
Where he looks like one of the best on-ball defenders that you're going to find. Boswell also has moments where it's like, okay, I don't know if he's locked in. I don't know if he's engaged. And that would be the one concern that I have. And just real quick, Goodman said he thinks that Illinois could win this game by double figures. They absolutely could. Illinois could also lose this game by double figures. And I don't think anybody would be like, that's why this.
I'm not getting on the Illini bandwagon because like, I can't do that to myself.
I am.
No,
I'm back.
Because I watch.
They're back. I'm back in. I'm all the way back in.
I see how mentally he has dealt with this season. And like I don't understand how any.
How nice was it to see him so happy with this win, though?
Happy.
So happy
like
with
lose,
this win.
Even if
so
at
happy
the end
with
of the
this
first
win.
half, it's like a 2-point game
They
until
were
the final
confident.
Boswell
They were
shot.
confident.
Look at this is why we need the producer Kim. If you guys could
The
see the
smile.
smile on Trevor Valise's
Never
face
seen Trevor
right
smile.
now.
He came on
He's great. He's
pretty sure
back.
this is the
He came on the show.
Think about
He
it.
came on the show.
Connor never stopped smiling. Trevor's never smiled before tonight.
I'm glad we don't drug test at Field 68 because he's on some shit over there.
No doubt.
I don't know what it is.
No doubt, Connor. We got it.
I think this game. I don't know if it has opened. I think it opens as a pick'em. I do, and I think I would basically. I mean, based on what I saw today, I would bet Illinois as a pick because I think Illinois they win more matchups in this game. They just do. I mean,
But what if the game comes down to a one-possession game? And we just saw Kentucky in that game in the SEC.
I still
tournament.
like Illinois.
Jeff, you were there. Like like in the SEC tournament, where Kentucky's got their back against the wall, but they're in a close game. Illinois, when's the last time they were in a close game and they won?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Kentucky's been in a lot of them. They've been in a lot of
They have.
them.
Yeah.
I will
Like,
say
we're
this.
in the
In a
tournament
lot
right
of them,
now.
they won. They had a guy named Jackson Robinson.
that's exactly right.
And
That's
they had
exactly
a
right.
healthy Lamont
That's
Butler.
exactly right.
He didn't even look for a shot at all today.
No, they know.
I don't think he
Yeah.
can shoot.
He can't.
I think right now
Well, he couldn't
probably
shoot when he was
goes
healthy.
against his shoulder.
He could shoot when he was healthy.
Well, no, he could.
Not
That was the
really.
big thing. Yeah, early this season he did.
Yeah.
That was the big difference. That's why they
Yeah.
won a lot of those.
He's
games.
clearly gutting it out because
He
he
had a
wants
game-
to help,
He
you
had
know.
a game that he came out with us. He had like 29 points.
But I just feel like, 1 through 8, like you tell me which matchup is Kentucky winning? You tell me because I got Will Riley to take a away.
Murray, like the 5-man matchup, they could
But-
win. With
Okay.
physicality,
Yeah,
they could
absolutely.
win.
Yeah, but it's also that happens.
He's gonna Avicic is gonna bring Amari out.
If Avicic can make shots,
He's gonna
We've
bring him
seen-
out anyway because you have to
yes,
respect
you
him.
have to. But here,
they
the
can
only
play
thing,
Garrison. They
the
can
on-
play Garrison.
the only thing that I
We
would
got
say,
options.
the only thing I would say is that's true of every single game that Illinois has played this entire season, and they have
That's true.
22 and 11,
That's true. I mean, that's
23 and 11.
That's what you're right.
Yeah.
They're like this.
Yeah.
100%.
That's
But you know
why
what?
you don't know.
I am officially,
Kentucky's more consistent, obviously.
I'm officially all the way back in.
Oh, no.
They are back. Illinois is back. I am officially all the way back in.
I don't think you're
I'm
allowed.
all the way back in.
I don't think
It's the opposite of standing on business, but I am all the way back in. Can I just say one thing?
No.
The biggest storyline of the
This is
day.
a cell signal.
We got
We haven't. We haven't.
signal
The
on
single biggest story of the day. We haven't even talked about it yet. I haven't seen it really talked about at all. The single biggest story of the day. The National Player of the Year favorite played, was 100%, played 22 minutes, 14.7 boards. It was Mount St. Mary's, whatever. He was out there. He played. He started. He looked like Cooper Flagg. That changes everything. There were doubts. Jeff.
Well, yeah, because it was kind of quiet up until the last 24 hours. You knew he was going to play. That kid is about as tough as it gets.
It's unbelievable.
He's not going to sit out unless they
unbelievable.
tell him he has to sit out. And really, what's one more day going to do? He was fine. He was fine. We saw that. The thing with Cooper Flagg again. Some guys you'd be like, I just want to get him in there to get rid of any of the nerves. There's going to be no nerves with Cooper Flagg. Zero. That kid plays like a senior. He's that mature. He's that mentally tough. And to me, again, this was a gimme game. We know that. But even
The
Tyrese
fact that he's
Proctor.
out there, Jeff.
See, I think it was also Tyrese Proctor playing well in
Yes.
this
It
game.
was.
Helps.
But the fact that
Because he was so bad in his last – I'm sorry. He was so bad, remember, his last tournament game against NC State, what he did.
Yep.
So I think Proctor, confidence. Flagg getting out there was huge.
But in today's day and age in college basketball, with all the agents and all the handlers and everyone and all the money and everything that's going around, there probably were so many people that if they were in his circle,
They would have shut it down.
they would have told him not to play.
Certainly.
And he went out there in the first round and he wanted to compete. He loves to play basketball. And
That's what makes him
that
so
to
good.
me, man.
And
yes.
his family,
Yes.
and I
about to
think his
say,
family, he's
like-
got an agent, he's got CAA.
Yeah, of course he does.
But his family
Like-
is the one who
But
ultimately
he's got the right
makes
circle.
the decision.
That's what I was gonna say. There's no way in hell, and I've been in the gym. I don't know him personally. I've been in the gym with his mom and seen that. No way they're telling him to sit out.
No,
they're
way
telling
in
him,
hell
if you're
they're
healthy,
telling him to sit
you're
out.
playing.
There's so many
Playing,
different
yes,
circles that would have said
100%.
sit out.
Yeah.
And he played
Kid
today.
wants to win a title. He
he's-
came
He wants
there.
to win
He's
a
a
title. He wants to
competitor,
compete.
He's a competitor though.
Yeah,
Like,
man,
that
come
was
on.
never in doubt.
He's,
Like,
an
in my mind.
he's an outlier because in this era of NIL, a lot of kids would have said, you know what?
I know. And a lot of people around them would say,
Yes.
hey, man, don't
You're
do
not
this.
playing.
Yeah,
You're
Don't
not
do this.
playing.
You're
That's
not
the right
playing.
choice. That's
And
not
that
risky.
kid was
He
probably
wants
like,
to
when they
compete.
brought that to
He
him,
wants to play in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, of course
Like,
he
and that's
does.
a credit to
He's
him
wanted to be one of the
and
guys
all the people
year.
that are around him and his circle and everything. And that's
I love the. I mean, again, I don't even know him because he doesn't really let you know him media wise. He doesn't care. He doesn't want to deal with
exactly.
it. Not disrespectful, but just doesn't
Yeah.
care.
Yes.
But like, I don't need to know him to love, like watching that kid, what he's
100%.
all about.
Well,
Like,
he's about the right
he's
thing.
an old school player.
all the right
He is a
stuff.
player who could have played in any era too.
Yes.
with what he does.
For sure.
All right, a few more games we should touch on here. North Carolina's Cinderella dream magical run.
Slipper fell off.
The slipper fell off
You said they were
Cinderella.
Cinderella.
The slipper fell off Cinderella, North Carolina, Rob. They go down to Ole Miss. Ole Miss built a big lead. UNC chipped away. They what do they call it? They chopped wood. They carried water. But it was not enough. It was not enough there in the end. So, obviously, how do we make sense, Rob, of this UNC season now that it's sadly over?
I mean, this game was kind of the microcosm of their season, right? Started out slow, dug themselves a big hole, fought valiantly, tried to get all the way back,
RJ Davis.
couldn't quite get over the hump. RJ Davis, he'll be my toast tonight when we get to that. Just that's it. Unless he's got
Spoiler
like
alert.
another year of eligibility coming like that, goes down as an all-time great in North Carolina basketball history. One of the greatest scorers that we've seen in the ACC, and that's it, man. But it's kind of the microcosm, and we talked about this on the stream that we did. But I think it's going to be a really, really big year next year for Hubert.
I'll say this. You hit it on the head. There's a microcosm of their season, but at the same time, I think this isn't necessarily a bad thing for North Carolina.
Okay.
They weren't
Because they now have to learn.
100%, and they can get to work for next year. This wasn't a team that was gonna or destined to
That's a
make
good point.
a big run, a deep run into the
Get
tournament.
done so they can hit the portal 100% of the
They
time.
can they can figure out what the hell is going on with their roster, who's going out, who's coming
Get the
back.
meetings going.
Absolutely. Hubert Davis can
Tomorrow.
start working.
Yeah.
with the new
It's
GM
actually a
and the
great
people that they
point.
got
You've
into
made two
place.
unbelievable points so far. Doster has made none in 26 hours, and you made two in the last 20 minutes. But you're right. You're right. Like, they weren't going to do anything anyway.
Yes.
Let's get
Let's
going.
get going.
Let's go.
I love that.
Let's build-
I love that.
Let's-
Rob, I'm
let's go.
sorry.
Like
No,
the-
it's-
the-
That was
the-
a, that was
the
a
clock-
shot.
the
That was a
clock's-
low blow.
All that's
the
been
clock-
happening.
And here's the thing.
It's just shots day after day.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. The clock is now at 0. The season's over. There's no, hey, let me catch my breath. Let me go on vacation.
Nope.
Let me gather my thoughts.
Yeah.
You don't have that. Now it's like,
mean-
okay, what are we doing?
What the
Hey,
hell?
we
What
have
are we
we have a
doing?
responsibility to the audience to touch on more than just 2 games a segment.
Yeah, let's go.
So
let's
let's
go.
button up, dude.
All right, let's go.
Maryland wipes the floor with Grand Canyon,
The Crab Five, man, they have been
81-49.
they've been one of the more underrated, underdiscussed,
Totally
and
agree.
impressive teams
Totally.
in
agree.
college basketball this season. Well, they get Colorado State in the second round, right? That's who they get on
Allegedly.
allegedly on Sunday.
No,
And-
there's no
We
allegedly.
demand a recount.
What do you want to count
What do you want
again?
to count
I
again?
want to review all the threes for Colorado
Okay,
State.
okay.
I think their feet were on the line.
They're like 9 of them are on the line. They didn't even make 9 threes.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what this is also going to help Maryland with? The more they win, the more money they can raise to try to keep Kevin Willard in College Park.
Holy cow!
It's wild that
There's a lot going on there.
That is something that we are talking
Story
about right now.
It's a real story right now. Villanova, for those that don't know this point, Kevin Willard's very involved right now in the Villanova job. And the big question will be, Villanova's got a ton of money, NIL, because they're in the Big East, so there's no football money there. And can Maryland match or get close to it at this point? So, again, go back to the Terps.
No, it's just really impressive
games to hit
run.
on.
Is there
have an hour on
like
series.
Yeah.
You guys act like you
so
don't know.
Julian Reese?
Yeah.
Complete opposite of his sister. Like he's not doing like the McDonald's commercials. He's not doing the
Nobody's asking him to do the McDonald's commercials.
But he's not. But
that was a
he is a quiet superstar.
Yeah, he's been great.
He's
actually.
a quiet.
He's matured
superstar.
over the years
He's
and
matured,
become a really good player.
And he goes out today and he gets 18 and 9.
Yeah.
And to me, like when you're in a timeout, if you're Kevin Willard and you see that guy in your timeout, that's not screaming, yelling, barking, pointing, doing any of these things, and that guy, man.
Their whole starting five.
Oh, the
They
whole
fit.
starting five, yes,
They
but
fit.
like
they did a great
he's
job.
the guy that keeps it all together. Jeff, he could have left. He didn't leave through a coaching change.
Yep.
He stayed.
He was with when Turge got
when
fired.
Turge got fired,
Well,
and
whatever,
Danny Manning
left.
took over.
Left.
Like
yeah.
he could have left.
Yep.
He could have left when it wasn't going well, and he stayed. He was loyal.
Yeah.
Like that. I mean, that guy. Like
All right,
that's a
Jarrell's
guy
got
you-
two good points.
he's
McCall's
a
got
guy
one.
you root for, right?
No.
Like Julian Reed's like he's a guy you root for.
100%
You
because
have
he
no
stayed
good
loyal,
points.
and you want that guy
You're
to
actually
kinda
in the
get
negative.
get his just due in the end. I'll say this, and I know you want to move on, John, so we can hit on some more games. I'm not sure if everybody else feels that way. I think Maryland can get to a Final Four, man. I think
do
they're
too.
good. I think they're
Yeah.
good.
Well, they stood on business today. They did because that number closed 9.5. You're taking the scores away from you, Coach. Baylor beats Mississippi State 75-72. UConn, we talked about 67-59.
Not sure why Josh Hubbard didn't take the last shot, but that's okay.
I agree with you. Marquette goes down 75-66.
Who?
Mountain West got back with a vengeance. You lost by more than me, by the way, just for the record. You lost by 9. Memphis lost by 8. So you got to wear that.
I got to wear that.
Oh, yeah, you got to wear
It's
that.
the revenge of the Mountain West on both of us, man.
Yeah. Somebody sent me a stat about Shaka Smart here just about 5 minutes ago. I just want to throw this. I'm not even trying to put you on the spot. It's just somebody sent this.
It's fine. I got enough stats about Penny.
In his last 9.
you don't preface that with like I'm not trying to put you on the
No,
spot.
in
But you are putting
Shaka's
him on the
in
spot. When you
Shaka's
say, I'm not trying to put you on the spot.
in Shaka
you're
Smart's
putting him on the
last
spot.
9 NCAA tournament trips, he has been eliminated by a team at least 3 seed lines worse 7 times and at least 5 seeds worse 5 times. That's from Chris Felica. He's 3-8 against the spread, 4-7 straight up when he's not an underdog. So when he's a favorite, I guess. So I mean, it's just more of the same. You know, that was a 10 seed. He was favored, and another early exit for Marquette under Shaka Smart.
Yeah, and circumstantial. I mean, we threw all those words in there to say what, that they lost?
Well, yeah, but it's more of painting a picture that
Can we
that
flip
Shaka's underachieving.
Can we flip
That
it?
Shaka's
Can
underachieving.
we
at
flip
Marquette.
Right. How do you sum up, I guess, the Shaka Smart era? Because they've done well in the regular season, but they haven't had the success in the tournament that I think a lot of people would like. Certainly,
Based
at
on the
Marquette.
seed he
sure.
gets. Based
For
on the
sure.
seed he gets.
For sure. And I think a major component of that is that they set themselves up for failure when they weren't able to bring it together. They had some really good non-conference win. They started off hot, to get a higher seed, and then you got to go in there and you got to win a couple of those games in the Big East. Which obviously the conference was down this year, but you can't lose to St. John's 3 times in a year. You can't lose to UConn both times,
Agreed.
home and away. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
you got to get a couple of those games so that you get a higher seed. And at the end of the day, I said this a couple of times, just based off of their roster, what they lost last year. And again, going back, I know it's hindsight now, but going into the year, nobody thought they were going to be a great team.
I did not.
No, you thought they were gonna miss the
Goodman,
tournament.
Getting to the
Goodman
tournament
was
this year,
questionable
yeah.
about them
Success.
making the tournament.
Well, nobody thought they were going to be a great team.
I
They were
actually
not a
was
great team.
I was probably closer than anybody after mid-January.
Yeah,
They really weren't.
I will say this about Marquette and Shaka, and
It's hoping you have a first team All-American.
yeah,
They
but
were
look,
you go in the
Cam's
first round.
awesome.
but look,
It's just tough.
but
The rest of
here's
team
the other
was
thing.
good. They were great role guys.
But here's the thing. So I hate the way that this is going to sound, but has Marquette's window closed, right? Like last year, they had Tyler Kolek, NBA player, Oso Ighodaro, NBA player, Cam Jones, he's going to play in the NBA.
player.
And they couldn't get it done. The year before that, they had those three guys and they couldn't get it done. And now you lose Cam Jones, and like all due respect to what they got coming up, they don't have that.
What do you mean they couldn't get it done?
They
What did
What
they do?
did they
in the
do?
tournament?
They got a Big East tournament championship out of it,
They go to
Yeah.
a
which
Sweet
is
16
great.
last year.
Which is great, and I'm
which
not
is a
knocking.
success.
And I'm not knocking
They got a
that.
conference championship as well.
Yeah, and a
Yes.
conference championship as well, right?
But
But
this
we
is
saw-
a tournament
We
business.
saw they got knocked out in the second round both times with
They went to the
Kolek, right?
Sweet 16 last
Sweet
year.
16.
I mean, it's
right?
hard to knock them too
And they
hard.
lost
for
to
going to
NC
Sweet
State, who
16.
went
Yeah.
on to the Final Four.
But
Yeah.
have they?
But no, the window's not closed, Rob.
But
No,
what?
it's
Okay, so
definitely-
where's
again,
where's
You
the
got to go to
next-
the portal.
Where's
You
the
got to
next-
go to the portal and get some dudes.
That's one
Have
thing
to.
I will say. That'll be a part of this, and that'll be
Mm-hmm.
a conversation that somebody has to have. And I'm not sure how true the reports are, but the whole thing about dealing with agents and stuff, that'll be another
You gotta
component.
change that.
imagine,
You gotta change
imagine if they don't go to the portal and you take
He's
the
going to
core
the
of
portal,
this
bro.
team
He doesn't have a choice.
and you think that one of these guys is going to be anything close to what Tyler Kolek or Cam Jones has been. No way.
And
There's no way we've seen these guys.
also, let's think about this.
He's going to the portal.
Has to.
He's still in the process of building his culture and putting his
Mhm.
handprints on his team. This next year will be the first year that Shaka Smart doesn't have any retention from the Wojo era. Think about that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to knock him too hard.
No, he's
Yeah.
done a good job there.
Yeah.
But again, you gotta
It's going to be next year's going to be really interesting. I mean, it's going to say
you
a lot.
gotta
It's
beat New
gonna say a lot.
Mexico. You gotta beat New Mexico here.
I mean, I think you
No,
got to
I'm with you. You got to be. That's a game we Marquette
Gotta
should
win it. Gotta win
We
it.
gotta, we're going to fight. We'll be back. Field of 68 after
I'm
dark.
gonna win.
College basketball fans, are you ready to take your hoops game to a new level? Whether you're a seasoned bettor or just trying to win your March Madness office pool, Rhythm is here to give you the edge this season. With data-driven predictions for every single college basketball game left on the schedule, Rhythm helps you maximize your bets. And as March Madness kicks off, Rhythm's insights will help you spot those plucky Cinderellas that you know are going to shake up the NCAA tournament. But that's not all. When Selection Sunday rolls around, let Rhythm's AI-powered bracket generator do the heavy lifting for you. This is the same AI tool that performed 35% better than the average ESPN bracket last year. And here's the best part. Rhythm pairs perfectly with our Field of 68 expert analysis, giving you the 1-2 punch that you need for the rest of the college basketball season. So don't wait. Download Rhythm today and get ready to see college basketball and your betting results in a whole new light. Now is your chance to prove you're smarter than the Field of 68. We're hosting a Survivor contest with our partner Splash Sports. There's a $25 entry fee, a 25 entry max in the contest, and more than 1,700 spots available, which means there's a $40,000 max prize for the winner. Survivor is the future of March Madness. Each day you pick a team to win. If they win, you advance. We'll also be running a free to enter bracket contest as well as a second chance Survivor in the Sweet 16. So prove you know more ball than the Field of 68 on Splash Sports.
Welcome back, Field of 68 after dark. It was a crazy break. Jarrell slapped Goodman upside the head and said, "Transfer portal D's." It was crazy, but we're back. We got it all together, and we are here on a Friday night as part of the NCAA tournament coverage here on Field of 68. All right, let's hit some games that we have not hit before we get to toast of the night. Alabama wins 90-81 over Bobby Morris. However, in a day,
Bobby Moe.
in a tournament that was dominated, Bobby Moe, in a day in a tournament that was dominated by ones, twos, and threes, Alabama was played the closest. Now, it's possible that Robert Morris was the best of the 15s and 16s. They had a great year. But, Jeff, I will ask you, anything to read into Alabama having to really stave off a 15 seed Robert Morris here?
You're not really going to try to avoid talking about the Memphis Tigers losing, are you?
We're working our way down, sir. We're working our way down, sir.
with your pennies on too.
I mean, right.
with the pennies.
What's going on here? All right, fine. As long as we're going to get to it.
Can you
But-
just? I mean, I'm
Yeah,
trying
I can
to- I'm
answer the
trying to be a
question.
professional,
That's
Rob,
fine. I
and
can answer the
the
question.
constituents are just really
But I just think you're trying to avoid the
going
big
with the most
story
relevant
here.
teams first.
No, the most relevant story is hearing you talk about the Memphis Tigers now and this season.
We'll get to it.
and how it
We're
ended.
doing the afters, man. All right,
All
we're doing
Alabama. This is kind of what I expect from Alabama now. Like, this doesn't surprise me. Nate Oates said it when we talked to him earlier
They didn't
today.
rebound.
They got to rebound. They got to defend. Like, he wasn't happy. He wasn't happy
At
with
all.
the SEC tournament performance. They were awful. They got punked last week in Nashville.
They did.
So I just feel like, honestly, this team has never, ever hit their ceiling and been consistent. And I'm not saying I'm totally out on him because I think Nate Oates is a hell of a
Did they
coach.
go to the Final Four last year, or not?
They did. They did.
So that wasn't their ceiling.
Um,
Or they had 8 seed last year.
I don't feel the same way about them.
Four.
Okay, 4
Even
seed.
though they're more
Forcing the Final Four.
talented.
That sounds like a ceiling to me.
They're more talented. I don't feel the same way about them because I just felt like Mark Sears was a different player last year. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just feel like maybe he's gotten into
Expectations are
hype
hard
a
to
little
deal
bit.
with. Expectations
No,
are hard to
hold
deal
on,
with.
hold on.
I think a lot of that was
Hold on.
bullshit.
There's a lot of revisionist history going on here. Nobody thought that they were going to be a Final Four team. last year. Nobody. They couldn't guard a soul.
Nobody.
They couldn't guard anybody, and then they figured it out when they got to the NCAA
They were down
tournament.
like what, 20 to Clemson in the first half? Or
Yeah,
something?
and because we knew what they were offensively last year, and they could put up 100. Remember, they lost like to Kentucky, 117 to 105. Like
Yeah.
they didn't guard anyone last year.
They
and they just happened
maximized
to get
their
out of the
Then
right
because
side.
they went to the Final Four,
Yes.
all these expectations are placed on
Well, and he
them.
brought back everybody. I mean,
He
that's the
brought
way it
back a
goes.
lot of guys.
He
but
brought back Sears
expectations
and
are the
Nelson
hardest
and
thing
Ads.
to
Then,
deal
like,
with.
Fallon
Yeah.
was really good early.
Yeah, I mean,
But like as much
you
as
can't run from expectations.
and
can't do
and
it.
they did not play well today, right? No one is trying to pretend like they played well today,
Looked
and
like shit
sometimes
last
sometimes that'll happen. And
Their
But they
last
won
two
the
but,
games have
but
been
a lot of what's happening with Alabama is being magnified because Florida is so good, and Auburn's been so good,
Totally.
and Duke is so good, and Houston is so good. Like
Tennessee.
Alabama, more or less, in terms of like just what they are as a basketball team, is about what we all expected.
They're like the 7th best team in America.
Yeah,
Like
but
6 or 7.
but
You
it
had
just
preseason number one.
and they
This is
are
what you expected.
the team that they are. Yes, it just so happens that everybody else is better than them. Everybody else caught up. I don't think this is a matter of Alabama is worse than we thought. They are just worse compared to the field because
Jeff,
the
you're
rest of the guys got everyone else got better. No one thought Florida was going to be this good.
no
Nobody
question.
thought
And-
Duke
and
was going to be the best.
You're shaking your
did
head.
think Duke would be good.
You're shaking your
not
head.
this
I
good.
expected more from them.
This good. You thought Duke.
Did you expect more from Kansas?
I had Duke in my preseason.
Oh yeah, of course.
That's
I
my
expected
point.
more
Like,
from
you're
Kansas.
shaking your head, and now Alabama's in the second round of the NCAA tournament. Like, they're in the second round. Like, what? Like, why are we shaking our head saying like they've
Because
underachieved?
they barely beat
Ah,
Bobby
man,
Moe.
this is-
You need to give Matt
Like
your
they
listening
weren't good in
face.
the SEC tournament last week. I expected them to be playing better basketball this time of year. And I don't feel like they've honestly progressed as much as I thought they would. I don't have trust in Alabama right now. I don't know which team is again, defensively, I don't trust them.
What about this team has changed though? In my opinion, they're the same. Like I didn't love them last year before they went on that run because exactly they don't guard anybody. And
They're better
they brought-
offensively, I think.
They
I
brought
think they're
all of
better
those
offensively.
same
More
guys
talent.
who can't guard anybody.
And then they added Clifford.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know what I'm
like,
saying?
like,
Like,
this is the
They
guy that's going to fix our
add
defense.
Holloway,
They
but
bring in
they're-
LeBaron
but they're gonna
Fallon.
hang
I mean,
90
I
on
think
you.
they're better.
They got guys that can fill it up.
They're better
They're going to get up
offensively.
and down, but if they run into a team that's going to stifle them a little bit defensively, they run into somebody that's going to slow Sears down. They're going to struggle. That's
Unless
who-
Fallon
that's
goes
who
off.
they
The only-
are. Exactly.
We're
exactly.
not on
Exactly.
different pages. The only person that is being an idiot right now is
I'm not-
you. Yes, you are.
I'm just saying.
You said they
I'm
don't reach their ceiling. They
disappointed.
were our Final Four
I'm
team last year.
disappointed. I thought I would have this Alabama team right now and thinking, you know what? I think they can win the whole thing. And right now,
They
I
can-
don't feel
they-
that way.
But the only reason you think that is because they went to the Final Four last year.
Yes.
Because they got hot.
But that
Because
matters.
They ran
though.
on a run.
That does
It
matter.
does
man.
Yes.
matter. I get it. But
sure.
that's what this tournament is.
Because that's
Like
why you
that-
got on me about FAU. I shouldn't superimpose what they did a year ago onto their current team. But if it's the same, I'm going to do that.
All right, we got 8 minutes, and you know what that means.
Go to Memphis.
What does it mean?
That means we got 8 minutes to make sure we get in the eulogy for your Memphis Tigers.
Here lies Memphis.
Can you find out why he wears a key?
Here lies one set. No, I wish we could have found a way to unlock the offense in the second half, man. Jeez, that was tough. I don't think Dane got any touches in the second half. I was out here. I remember. I was on a break. Let me just tell my story.
Let's get to the Memphis Tigers.
That's what we're going to.
All right. Well,
I was here at Flanker. I was just outside Flanker. First half. All right. I'm on a break. I'm like, thank God these guys have found somebody else to talk for a minute. And I'm outside and I'm watching Memphis in the first half. It looks great. They're up 36-31. Dane's getting all the rebounds. He's getting paint touches. And then the second half begins. Nico Medved he adjusts. You know, PJ Haggerty can't make anything. And the worst of Memphis came out in that second half. Turned the ball over, point guard issue. So, no, here lies Memphis. She was exciting for a minute.
Do you know it's been a long 48 hours? But do you know what the best part of this 48 hours was?
What?
When Nico Medved said to you, he said, I don't mind ruining your week, but I don't want to ruin your life. That was Nico Medved said that to you. That was the line of the week.
That's right. No, he did what he's supposed to do. I mean, KJ Evans was unbelievable. My God, he couldn't miss the second half. I mean, everybody talked all week about. But you said LeBron James played for Colorado State, and it was KJ Evans who was taking over in the second half. Nobody warned me about KJ Evans. Everybody said Nick Clifford. Where'd he come from?
Can you sum up this Memphis season?
I would sum it up as this: it was good. It was not great. It was good. It was not great. It was like a tourniquet. You needed to have. You were bleeding out, and you needed a tourniquet. And that's what I'm being serious. We had so many questions about Penny Hardaway and his future.
Yep.
You needed to stop the bleeding for this program.
Goodman had him on the hot seat.
He had him on the hot seat.
I did not have him on the hot seat.
I'm on the record on Twitter. I quote tweeted him. I said, Penny Hardaway should not be on the hot seat. What are you doing? This is stupid. But he needs clicks. I think this was a tourniquet.
I own my own company. I don't care about. I'm working for somebody else.
Okay, so now you're going to bring in you own the company.
Hey,
now you're going to do that.
Hey,
I'm not talking to this guy anymore.
I co-own the company. Sorry.
Goodman works for me.
Sorry.
Let's get that
Yeah,
straight.
anyway,
Goodman works for me.
Good, not great.
Memphis. Wait, can I add in something? I do think this was huge for Penny Hardaway. I think he had an unbelievable non-conference. He's scheduled up, completely new staff. It looked like a shit show. It looked like he was going to be done.
It did.
And I give him credit, and he was accountable.
Yes.
That's the other thing Penny Hardaway did this year that he gained a ton of respect for, not just me, for I think everybody in the media.
Agreed.
He came out there and said, you know what? I thought this shit was going to be easy, and it wasn't.
Agreed.
Because a lot of these NBA guys that have $100 million in their bank account, that's what they think, and they don't adapt. They don't change. So I give them credit. Now, again, you got to win games in the tournament next year. One win in 7 years.
Has Memphis missed their window?
Terrell was waiting. He was waiting for like literally a minute.
I had to.
You got Marquette, they were like the 2014 Miami Heat.
No, I know, but like they had 3 All-Americans and NBA players on the team. And
that's awesome.
You are right. They did win the Big East regular season and tournament.
They go to the
same
Sweet
year.
16.
So I'll give you that. I forgot they won the regular season. So
But you had to fact check me?
Yeah, I'm just trying. Hey, listen, real quick.
Can't fact check Terrell.
He's like, UConn didn't win?
Yeah. Hey, just real quick, I want to hit on everything before we're done on serious. Florida beat Norfolk State 95-69. Michigan State beat Bryant 87-62. Iowa State beat Lipscomb 82-55. Iowa State actually pretty good there. Arizona beat the brakes off Akron 93-65. Goodman had Akron winning that game. Good call, Jeff. You nailed that one. Oregon beat Liberty 81-52. Another blowout, unexciting game. St. Mary's came back to beat Vanderbilt. They were down by as many as 11 in the second half. Broke my heart. Some of us might have been on Vanderbilt in that game. We talked about New Mexico. We talked about Baylor. We talked about UConn. Let's get to Toast of the Night, presented by
Dadwater.
Jarrell, we'll start with you. Toast of the Night.
Easy one for me. The senior trios at Marquette: Cam Jones, Stevie Mitchell, David Joplin. Those guys obviously didn't have the ending that they wanted, but they did a great job. They left the program in a better place. When they came in, they left it better than they found it. So salute to those guys. I'm proud of them. They've been great flag bearers for the program, and they all gonna go on to do great things as well too. So salute to all three of those guys.
Cam Jones, man, I will toast Cam Jones. He's been awesome.
Memphis legend, man, for real.
Yeah,
For real.
He came out of nowhere, and he had a hell of a college career.
He did, man.
We're not talking enough about what Richard Pitino is doing at New Mexico. So toast to him. When you go through getting fired, at Minnesota to take over that program and the job that he's doing there to win a game, to beat a good Marquette team, that's my toast of the night, man. Shout out to Richard. It's a good year for the Pitino family, no question about it.
Keep him away from Marquette.
Toast the night.
The entire family.
Congratulations, Richard Pitino.
Yeah.
Toast the night. It would have been great to talk to him tonight, but what happened there, Jeff?
He didn't want to talk to us.
I don't blame him.
He's gotta watch
I don't
the
blame
film.
him. Go ahead, Jeff. Toast the night.
Job's not done.
I think the toast of the night for me is to Penny Hardaway in Memphis, to be honest, for what he did this season to get off the hot seat. I love Penny as a guy. I do. I love Penny as a
Penny
guy.
win today?
I'm happy. No, I think it's a toast to the season,
There you
to
go,
the
Jeff.
fact that he won this year enough.
It's a new Jeff
to
Goodman.
Penny.
It's a new Jeff Goodman.
What a
No, I mean,
That's unbelievable. I can't believe that.
no, it's not.
I can't believe
Hey,
that. Toast the night.
I'm going to do it again. I did it at the end of our Madness Guys broadcast. I want to give a toast to the people that are working behind the
Heck
scenes
yeah,
here at
man.
Field 68.
Absolutely.
This is
Absolutely.
really difficult to deal with these people specifically, not to even mention the equipment and every other piece of logistics here. So to Trevor, to Connor, to Dagan, the Wizard of Oz behind
Wizard
the
of
scenes.
Oz.
Thanks, Dagan.
Yeah, Dagan.
Toast.
Toast. The Wizard.
Toast
Sorry
to
for
people that make
everything.
this
Don't yell at us,
possible.
Dagan.
It is not Goodman, me, Ron Dodger, Maverick, Jarrell McNeil. It is those gentlemen. So
Brooks
toast to them.
Barnheiser.
Brooks
Brooks
Barnheiser.
Barnheiser.
Shout out to Brooks
And your
Barnheiser.
short
Shout out to Brad Evans, who
wears
made it
short
here,
shorts?
brought the heat every time he showed up. Shout out to Tim Murray, who we never saw again. He
He
came
took
here.
a shit in the
Oh
middle of the
my
floor.
God.
Frank
Got
Kaminsky.
smoked.
Frank Kaminsky.
Shout out to Frank
Worst beat ever.
Kaminsky. Toast. We had Todd Golden on. We had 25 guests from 32 games in the NCAA tournament. Last one, I want to give a toast to RJ Davis. You mentioned Cam Jones. RJ Davis, one of the best guards we've seen in college basketball in a long time. Unbelievable career. It was a lot of fun to watch, and he made it work. John, take us home.
We're heading to the afters. Two losers got toast tonight. We got to have a conversation. Hang with us. We're going to the afters. Thanks for sticking with us. Have a great night.
I have been looking for the best deal on March Madness tickets, which is why I want to give the sponsor of today's show, SeatGeek, a huge shout out. SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app with over 28 million downloads and more than 70,000 events available. Now that March Madness is here, SeatGeek has your back. Each ticket is rated so you know if it's a good deal with that little green dot, and it's backed by a buyer guarantee. You can get 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek with code FIELD of68. That's code FIELD of 68.
I want my home to feel like my home. So whether I'm looking for big furniture, just a small piece for my place, or maybe some storage solutions for the basement or the garage, the answer is Wayfair. Seriously, I needed a new patio set and fire pit for my backyard. I bought it on Wayfair. It looks great on our deck, and it gives me an excuse to fire up the smoker, invite some friends over, crack a couple beers. Just last week, I bought a new chair for my office, someplace comfortable to sit while the madness takes up the 4 screens in front of me. I got it on Wayfair, clicked a few buttons. A couple days later, it showed up at my front door. They even offered to help set it up for you. Digging through online stores can be intimidating. Trust me, I know. It can be hard to find what you're looking for in your price range, but not on Wayfair. They have great options, even if you are balling on a budget like me. Wayfair has every style for every home, including mine and yours. So head to wayfair.com and shop everything home. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. We're live. It's the afters.
Hit the chat.
I'm not getting close to any bear.
My career high on the court is 28.
We have done 28 hours
Is that right?
of broadcast the last 2 days.
That
We
math,
need
that
more.
math is incorrect.
Is it?
Yes.
I can't wait till I get my
26.
pay stub.
26 hours.
I got you.
Oh, no, we did,
You Memphians,
including
you
after
can't
dark.
add.
You're getting $3 an hour.
28. 13, 2.
Don't go against the Wizard of Oz.
All right,
That's
the
20
Wizard knows.
Okay,
They call him the Wizard for a reason.
26.
Tomorrow.
26.
Tomorrow.
He's,
What are we looking
he's
forward
trying
to
to, he's
tomorrow?
trying to short us because he knows we get paid by the hour for these.
Yeah.
Don't short me, Wizard of Oz. Yeah. So we decided, hey, we've done 26 hours for the Wizard of Oz. What's 10 more minutes? Because tomorrow is a banger day. Welcome to the afters. And we're not doing game previews tomorrow, so we figured we might as well talk about tomorrow before we get out of here. I don't see a weak spot, honestly, on this schedule. I don't know if there's a lull at all.
This is going to be awesome.
Because you start with McNeese Purdue. Of course, Will Wade coaching both McNeese and NC State. I saw some news, by the way. He's got a GM.
Yeah,
Andrew Slater. Andrew Slater's
It's
going.
like the mystery man.
If that was the mystery hire for Indiana?
No, Andrew Slater is the mystery man.
Okay. All right. That
I told you who the mystery guy was.
oh, that's right. You did drop that. Purdue, by the way, is a 5.5-point favorite. That number has come down. What did it open at? Like 7? 7.5?
6.5 is the first
Okay,
line I
6.5
saw.
is the first you
6.5.
saw. So, Rob, what do you think, man? Purdue, McNeese kicking it off tomorrow.
I think that is a really, really difficult matchup for Purdue. I've gotten burned a couple times by trying to read too much into matchups when it comes to mid-majors against high majors. But what Purdue struggles with are teams that are big and physical and switch and force turnovers and get to the glass and play hard and try to take advantage of the fact that they are more athletic than what Purdue is, especially in the backcourt. That's precisely the way that McNeese plays. This is precisely the kind of matchup that Will Wade built his team for when last year, a similar, you're playing against Gonzaga. They don't have the most athletic backcourt. They got smaller guards, big guys inside, run a lot of ball screens. He built this team to be able to beat a team like Gonzaga. And this Purdue, the way that they play, man, is a lot like what Gonzaga was and is. And I think that McNeese not only covers, but I think McNeese wins this game. We have a 12 seed in the Sweet 16.
He needs this desperately, by the way. His underdog policy needs this desperately.
Are you going to continue this? Are you going to keep?
You can't give up now. You got to keep going.
You should abandon it. I mean, he's got no money left.
I gotta find some more. I gotta find
Paid
some more funds.
$80 for friggin'
I gotta find some more
camera.
funds.
It was like 500 feet.
I gotta
You
find
paid
some
$80 to go to 500.
I will pay you $80 if you spend the next 10 minutes on topic.
I'm trying. All right,
Our show would have been done by now if Goodman would actually stay focused. Let's get this guy some Ritalin or something. Go.
Amount of money. Okay.
Hold on.
Matt McCall has a point. Matt McCall has something to say.
I mean, I think Braden Smith has a look in his eyes right now that he's not losing this game. And he had it yesterday. The determination of him, how he's playing right now. I like. It's been a great run. We're gonna get Will Wade on to the next spot.
Yeah.
I think Purdue's too good. I think Braden Smith has that look in his face. Like
it does. Does it not worry you at all?
I'm out here trying to prove something. Like I'm out here trying to prove that. Look, we lost Zach Edey. Great, we lost him, but I'm out here trying to do this. So I don't see how Purdue loses.
Does it not worry you at all though that it's very rare that Purdue sees a team that is as tough? I mean, that's what I think about. I mean,
I agree
because
I agree.
I agree with Rob, though. They can throw those athletic guards that are going to get after Braden Smith, and that has been the one thing that's bothered him this year.
Yeah, I just don't see it.
All right, so that'll be it. I mean, that's a heck of a game to kick off. Thank you. That's the only way I'm going to get through afters.
The second game is the second game of the day.
The main event
is the main event, and I don't think I've ever seen Jeff Goodman as excited for a game, as excited for a storyline, as excited for a narrative as he is for the second game of our college basketball Saturday, the second game of the second round of the NCAA tournament. Do you know who it is?
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay, break it down. Talk to us.
Bradley, George Mason.
John Calipari and Rick Pitino. Like, do you know how much fun this was, guys, back when they played at Louisville and Kentucky? This was the one I was at it every year when they played against each other.
They don't like each other.
No, they'll be phony, but they hate each other. They hate each other. And the difference is now, when it was Louisville, Kentucky, Cal always had more talent. Always, right? Either one and dones, whoever it was, every year. Rick Pitino was outmatched talent-wise, but obviously we know he was a better X's and O's guy. Now you can look at it and argue that he's got more talent.
He does.
He's got more experience.
He does.
And he's a better coach.
He is.
I still think there's a chance this Arkansas team that can play loose and free now and not worry about a damn thing because nobody thinks they're going to win this game, that they can have a chance to win this game. They still have a lot of talent, Matt. It's not like Arkansas, they have an $8 million budget. Like, they have talent there.
Jeff, I understand that they have a lot of talent, but you don't think Pitino's in the film room tonight talking to his team about that? Like, Zuby Ejiofor does not get enough credit for what he has done this season. And they're going to be able to switch 1 through 5. And he's going to switch onto these guards. And the guards are going to switch onto the front court players for Arkansas. What are the adjustments that Calipari is going to make versus that switching 1 through 5? That's my whole thing. Because when you're playing against a team that switches 1 through 5, you have to be able to adjust. How are you exploiting the switching? What are you doing? Are you going high-low? Are you going to roll someone up into the post? Like, what are you doing? Like, I don't see it.
It feels you really think they have, like, no shot?
No shot.
Well, I mean,
isn't that crazy to hear him say
I think
that? And you've been out on Arkansas all year.
He's a big believer.
Do you think they have no
Rick
shot?
Pitino.
I'm a big believer in that roster, too. I'm a big believer in Kadar Richmond, R.J. Lewis, and Zuby Ejiofor. Those 3 guys.
You're not leaving.
What's that?
You're not leaving. You're staying and you're watching this game.
This
is your Super Bowl.
I wouldn't say this is my Super Bowl, but I've said this for 2 weeks until the bracket came out when I saw them in the same region as Florida. I said St. John's is getting to a Final Four.
Mm-hmm.
Until I saw them in the same region as Florida.
To your credit, you have been saying that.
Well,
the only thing I'll say is this, right? I do think, and I don't know if it was you that made this point, but this is the kind of moment that Cal would show up.
Definitely me.
It was definitely you.
Because I've seen Cal at his best when he is in these spots.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was his life at Memphis, right? It was his life at UMass. But
So
you coached at UMass.
There's going to be an adjustment that has to happen in the game tomorrow.
Yep.
And I go back.
You know what he doesn't have anymore that he had at Memphis? A guy named John Rubick.
He's on your staff now.
I keep saying that.
That's so true. He is on my staff. I called him last night. I hired him.
Mike doesn't
Look, I understand what you're saying. I actually tend to agree. I think that this is going to be one of those games, kind of like UConn, Florida, where the hype and the storylines are awesome and they're exciting and we want to talk about it. And then the game happens and it's not really all that interesting by the time you get about midway through the second half.
think anything with Cal and Pitino is going to
That's where I tend
What are
to
the
agree.
adjustments that you have to make during the game? Like, what are the adjustments? In 2012, Brad Beal's freshman year, we're playing Louisville in the Elite Eight. And they played that, like, matchup zone. And what happened? We were carving up the matchup zone. Coach Donovan was doing a great job carving up the matchup zone. They switched back to man. And Irving Walker and Kenny Boynton took some questionable shots coming down the stretch of the game, and we lost. Louisville goes to the Final Four.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's an adjustment.
No, Rick is the best there is.
There's no one better.
He's the best there
That's
is
what I'm
of
saying.
active coaches.
But Cal is not a rip dick, bro.
No, I agree.
I'm not saying he is.
You're saying that if there's an adjustment that needs to be made, he's not going to be sharp enough to be able to make it.
That's exactly what he's saying, and I tend to agree with that.
Oh, stop!
I tend to agree
Come
with
on,
that.
come on.
I tend to agree.
He's not. This isn't Norfolk State that we're talking about.
Well, that's why. Like, I don't think
DJ Wagner's been pretty damn good lately.
He might get around the building.
The reason why
he won't be because
can take over a game. Can he
Yes.
Well,
You
that's-
know that.
that
You
is
love
why.
Nelly Davis.
I love
Here's
Nelly
the reason
Davis.
why I think there's a chance that they can win is because Cal will get these guys motivated. That's one thing that he can do. He can get them bought in.
Yes.
And
They're gonna, like,
and if you're playing a switching man to man, right? And McCall, please tell me if this sounds like something where I'm full of shit. But when you're playing that switching man to man and it takes you out of the stuff you want to run, at the end of the day, you're betting on your defense being able to win a mismatch against whoever they have in a one-on-one setting. And I do think that there is a world where Nelly Davis can go nuts, Boogie Flagg can go nuts, and DJ Wagner can go nuts against those mismatches.
Facts.
And Arkansas can win this game.
Facts.
Do I think that's going to happen? Probably not.
I'm
Would
betting
I bet
Arkansas.
on Arkansas winning this game? Absolutely not. That's
Hold
actually
on,
the
we
reason
said
why
that.
I am now out on doing my underdog bets is because of this
but
right
we've
now.
been
I'm
on
done
this.
with
We've
it.
been on this broadcast now for like 46 straight hours.
Yeah.
Right, John Martin, 46 straight hours. How long have we been doing this?
They tell
His
me it's
math.
only, they tell
2
me it's
years.
only been they only
Okay.
tell me it's been
All right.
26.
2 years.
They keep shorting me because I'm
So
going to send that
last
invoice
night,
in.
when it wasn't going well for Arkansas, what was everybody in this room criticizing?
There's the zone.
The
fact that
zone
you didn't adjust
offense.
The zone. Yes, correct.
The
You're right.
adjustment to
You're
be
right.
able to run a set
You're right.
versus the zone. Like,
Yeah.
that's what everyone
You're
was
right.
talking about.
You're right.
So in this game tomorrow,
He eventually
when it comes down
did
to
enough,
X's
though,
and
to
O's,
win.
when it comes down tomorrow, if it boils down to X's and O's,
You know what the
Who you
Johnnies
take?
can't do? You know what the
I'm gonna
Johnnies
take
can't
Rick
do?
Pitino.
Generally, they can't shoot the
But-
ball from 3 from the line from anywhere outside of like 8 feet. They can.
All right. Well, listen. That's
We
going to be
didn't
an
know that
amazing
about the
game,
Godfather.
and St. John's
Yeah.
deserves this moment. We have plenty of more games to touch on.
Yeah.
We can't do them all.
Yeah, Michigan, Texas A&M. Is anybody
Another
interested
good
in that one?
Texas A&M wins this game. I think they win it by double figures.
Okay.
Totally disagree.
Guards.
Michigan's going to win it by 3.
Guards. I actually agree with
Michigan's going to win it by
Roberts.
3 or 2
I
or
think
3.
A&M wins.
Hey, tequila shot bet.
You haven't taken your tequila shot.
I'll do one. 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 Well, here's what I'll take. I'll take the video and I'll send it to you. All right, there you go.
Next game.
We're men of our
Texas
word.
A&M's favorite, but I have no interest. Texas Tech Drake 311. Texas Tech is minus 6.5.
That's an interesting one.
Man, give me BBL Drizzy, bro.
Yeah.
Give me Goodman's adopted children against the spread. They did not like a team. Bennett Sturts.
I love it. I love that you're on board. With
He's
my
a dog.
kids. I love it.
They're not. They're
No,
not.
he is.
They're not just happy to win one game. I don't think. I really don't
They're
believe
not.
that.
They're not.
And Texas Tech's had injuries.
Come on, everybody's
You know,
everybody's with me with Drake, right?
Haven't been playing
I mean,
great.
you're rooting for him. How do you not root for Drake?
I'm rooting for Drake. I'm
If
in.
you don't root for Drake,
I'm in. I'm in.
Doster,
They're
are you
covering
in or
for
not?
sure.
Yeah. I
All right,
mean,
don't be an asshole. Just
well,
be all-
I don't want
be all
to.
in.
I don't want to.
Don't be like half in. Like, yeah.
No, I don't. I
Like,
don't.
come on.
I don't want to agree with you. Like, I don't want to root for the same things that you root for. But
But
yes.
you need to. You need to do on this one.
Drake
Root-
gets to the Sweet 16.
If not for
Next
me,
one. What we
do
got
it
here?
for Bennett.
Creighton Auburn. Two
Ooh.
teams that play similar.
This is the one.
What's the line here? What's the
This is
line?
the one.
Auburn minus 8.5. Total is
It's a lot.
276.5.
I think it
It's a lot
started
of
at
points.
11.5.
It's a lot of points still.
That's come down.
Still a lot
Yeah.
of points.
I like
what are
Creighton
you
to
betting
cover.
now?
I don't like Creighton to win.
You come to Vegas for 48 hours. You're talking about? Oh, he knows what an open at. I mean, you're a
I
sicko
was so
now.
excited with the old this week. I was so excited.
Yeah.
So excited.
Give me Creighton. Dog. I don't know if they win. I'll take them out.
Cover.
Yeah, I
not
think
win.
Creighton covers.
Yeah.
Auburn wins the game.
BYU, Wisconsin, all the whites.
Over.
All the whites.
Over. Over.
This is all the whites getting together for this one.
It's kind of like
And, then,
the
and
show.
John Tanjay. We had Jarrell, dude. Brooks, I don't know how that one where he goes. Give me,
That's a wrap.
Hold on.
give me
Hold on.
That's a
BYU.
wrap.
BYU,
That's a
BYU
wrap.
Wisconsin over, and I'm taking BYU to win. I'll let you-
Gonzaga, Houston. Houston minus 5.5.
Houston.
Houston covers.
Houston.
Agreed.
Houston.
And then finally, UCLA, Tennessee. Tennessee minus 4.5.
It's-
Tennessee.
we have Tennessee and UCLA playing the nightcap, and I feel like that's going to be the game that
The
everyone's
total
like,
is
what a
131.5.
snooze fest.
It's
Yeah,
the lowest total of the
under,
day.
under,
Give me UCLA money line.
under.
We're going off on that.
Can I go home now?
Under.
Can I go
Under.
home? I've had enough
what
of
a
Vegas.
weekend.
No, you can't.
What
You,
a 2
you
days.
can't because you got to
Can I
get on
go
a
home?
flight. You're not going to get on
Goodman
a
left the
flight.
building. 3 Musketeers stayed. Right. Matt McCall, Rob
Locked in.
Doster,
Locked
John
in.
Martin. Thank you guys for being with us here on the afters all week of the NCAA tournament. Thanks for being with us on the Madness Cast. We'll, of course, be back tomorrow night, Sunday night, with full game recaps of the tournament, so, getting you ready for the Sweet 16. So make sure you stay with us on After Dark. Have a great night.